Okay, if you can take your seats, please. Heinrich and Lizaan, would you like to sit down? Good afternoon, everybody. A very warm welcome to the marriage ceremony of Heinrich Groenwald and Lizaan Jones. Can I just check that you can all hear me at the back? Okay. If it is difficult to hear at any time, please wave or throw something at me, get my attention somehow, and I'll see if I can sort it out. This is a truly beautiful place for us to be celebrating the wedding of these two very special people. I must say, as a close friend, it's a huge honour for me to be standing here with this role. I hope together we can make this a memorable ceremony for them. I'm relieved that Heinrich and Lizaan wanted the service to be in English, because I'm not sure a crash course in Afrikaans would have been adequate for me, even with a whole year's practice. I've known Heinrich for over 10 years, and I also know that most of you have known him for a lot longer. I first met Heinrich in 2002, when we were working together in London. Heinrich looked every bit the smart young South African working as an accountant. We seem to get a lot of them in London, especially from Dachbrek, and there's a few more of them here today as well. But I've seen pictures of Heinrich from a few years before that, when he wasn't so smart. Long hair, straggly beard. Oh dear. I must say, I'm really glad that we didn't meet then, because I'm not sure that I'd have seen past his appearance and seen what a great guy he is. Since I've known Heinrich, he's been sure of his views, and he's got a very strong sense of values. But, as many people here will know, he could be quick to jump to judgment. But he also wants to listen to people, the people he respects around him, and he adapts his views when he's been persuaded. I think he'll agree that he's grown to see that things aren't as straightforward as he once thought. Things that he thought were wrong are actually okay in some respects. Things he thought were right were only one way amongst many. I'm really relieved that he met Lizaan when he did. I think any earlier might have been a problem. She would probably have been scared off, and then we wouldn't be here today. I've known Lizaan for fewer years than Heinrich, but for the first time I met her, she showed her openness, her ability to understand others. She showed me a perspective on something that changed my views and helped me see the world in a different way. Although she doesn't see herself as an extrovert, she loves the company of others, and she makes the people she's with feel comfortable. As with Heinrich, she loves to do things well, and she's really confident with who she is. Separately, they are two of the nicest people you could meet. Together, they're fantastic. It's great to hear each of them talking about the other one, how their love and their passion for each other grows as each month passes. But they don't need to tell anyone that. You can see it when they meet. As friends from the UK will know, even this many years after they started dating, when they meet at the end of a long working day in a busy London station or a bar, they embrace as if they've been apart for months. You pretty soon learn to look the other way for a minute. But love and passion, though it's a good starting point, isn't enough in its own. There needs to be a shared view of the world, starting from the same place, wanting the same things, sharing the same values. Heinrich and Lizaan agree on those core things about how life should be lived, about how other people should be treated, and most importantly, they deeply respect each other. That's the foundation of their marriage. Okay, a bit less seriously. Let me tell you a real story about a guy called Major Paddy Bates. He was a radio disc jockey for a pirate radio station. Back in 1975, Paddy Bates occupied a naval sea fort that had been abandoned by the British government off the coast of England. He declared it a sovereign state. He called it the Principality of Sealand. He put in place all the trappings of a nation. He had a written constitution, its own currency, a flag, passports, the lot. But the one thing it also needed was a head of state. So Paddy, being a modest man, had decided to appoint himself as prince of the smallest, newest nation state in the world. He was lord of all he could see, 30 metres by 30 metres of rusting iron. But he fought for it to be recognised. He put in place laws that would apply. He resisted a coup. There was an invading group of other people who wanted to take over his fort, and he welcomed diplomats from various European countries. Paddy ruled Sealand until he died last year. His position of head of state passed on to his son Michael, and a hereditary monarchy was established. Sealand still exists and is now 40 years old. So what's that got to do with today? Well, as Heinrich and Lizaan are getting married, I believe in some ways they are doing something similar to Paddy. But of course it's much more worthwhile and much more precious than a slightly mad radio disc jockey. Their marriage will be a new island. It'll be the centre and the foundation of their lives. Their island state has been created from their shared beliefs and their shared values. The laws and the customs for their island will be what they agree on together. It'll be their joint decision on how their lives are lived within their island. They will, of course, need to name the island, so clearly not Sealand, but maybe Groenwald. With the type of planning that we would expect from Lizaan and Heinrich, there is already a wine that's been named for them and their island. Now, this wine, Groenwald, has been drunk to celebrate the wedding of other friends of theirs here, and that seems to make it especially perfect. Lizaan, you may need to be careful that Heinrich doesn't try and crown himself king. Please, don't let him get the power go to his head. I'm sure you won't let that happen. So, what will Groenwald be like? Well, from what I know of Heinrich and Lizaan, I think it will have three overriding characteristics. It'll be a place of security, a place of fun and laughter, and a place of love and comfort. The security isn't about their island being a fortress. It's about it being a place that you can return to, knowing what you're coming back to, knowing that whatever the weather is like outside, you will be safe. That's achieved through the respect that they show for each other, the respect that forms the bedrock of their island. This feeling of security will be true for each of them when they come home to each other, but it will also be true for friends who spend time with them and turn to them at various times in their lives. The fun and the laughter, well, that's inevitable. They both love to spend time with people, sharing food and wine, stories, jokes, singing around a braai, or having shots after a day skiing. As you can imagine, the licensing laws on Groenwald will not be the strictest that you found. All night drinking will be encouraged. The main drinking laws that there will be about the quality of the wine and the frequency of the shots. When I say it'll be a place of comfort, that's about being comfortable with who you are. For both Heinrich and Lizaan, as for many of us here, we have to put on a mask within our jobs to enable us to do them. And they need to be able to drop that mask when they come home, be themselves. There will be openness and honesty given in love to each other. And for their friends, we all know that they extend that same love, and they will also find this a comfortable place to come to. So, from today, there will be just two citizens of the island of Groenwald, Heinrich and Lizaan. There will be loads of others who visit their shores. Family will come and stay. Friends will be given room and shelter, and I'm sure there will be parties on the beach. The visitors help keep the island alive. They bring their personalities, their values, their influences to the island. They enrich the life of the island. They will also provide support to the island when it's needed. Frequently they will arrive with gifts of wine and chocolate. But these friends and the wider family are only visitors. They're welcomed into Groenwald by invitation by Heinrich and Lizaan. Some will only be in passing, but others will visit time and time again for many years. In time though, there may be new citizens. When Heinrich and Lizaan choose to have children, these new citizens will come underneath the laws of their island. But as the saying goes, laws are made to be broken. So new ones may need to be introduced. Old ones may fade away. These young citizens will change the island. They'll renew it. They'll bring new life. They will bring them into contact with other influences that they may not have chosen for themselves. Unfortunately, they'll drain the economy of the nation. And they will strain the government. The island will be affected by the weather and the tides. I'm sure there'll be long African summers in Groenwald. Times when things go really well, people are happy, the sun shines, the tides are predictable, and the waves gently lap against the shore. But even in the best summer, there can be times when the rains come unexpectedly, and best laid plans can easily get washed aside. Heinrich and Lizaan have shown this week that they will work together when that happens, and they will find a way through. So, Heinrich and Lizaan, you need to take care of your island. Keep your eye on the things that make it secure, fun, loving and comfortable. Refresh and renew those things constantly. Time needs to be taken to ensure that you continue to share the values that you share now, even if you have to adapt them over time. Stay close to each other and enjoy the beautiful island of Groenwald. End of that story. Okay, we're now getting to the main part of the ceremony. In a few minutes, Heinrich and Lizaan will make their personal vows to each other. Vows they've written themselves for today, and they will also exchange rings. This is them saying to each other and the world the basis on which they're entering their married life. It's a huge, huge moment in their lives, and they wanted you, every one of you who's here today, to be part of that. Your role is important to them, to strengthen that absolute moment of the ceremony, to witness it, and to hold them to account over the coming years. Listening to the vows they've made today. So, just for a few seconds now in silence, in whatever way feels right for you, can I just ask you to turn your hearts and your thoughts to Heinrich and Lizaan and the vows they're about to make. Thank you. So, Lizaan and Heinrich, can I ask you now to declare your personal vows to each other?